Hello and welcome to the Last Word on Spurs. We hope you're keeping very, very safe and well. Thank you so much for joining us for our fourth and final show of this week on Last Word on Spurs. Thank you so much for all of your incredible support as always. If you're listening to us for the first time, and where have you been? We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're across all major audio platforms. We're of course on Twitter at Last Word on Last Word on Spurs. We're on Facebook and Instagram too. I was watching Antony Costa there, put me right off trying to do an intro of Antony Costa on Last Word on Spurs. I won't even tell you what the phone call's like of Ant doing the intro back to me. His voicemail's enough to make you die. Thank you so much for joining us here, as always, on Last Word on Spurs, bringing you instant reaction to Tottenham Hotspur's Champions League draw. And delighted to say we've got three great returning guests. Joining me first off, I have to give him a big congratulations. Another little Spurs fan is in the world, and amen to that. We've got the wonderful, always leaves us in tears for the right reasons. Sammy Powell's back on Last Word on Spurs. Sam, love to have you back on. How are you?
Tired, Ricky. But
get used to it.
Yeah, brilliant, mate. To be fair, absolutely buzzing. Another boy in the family, another Tottenham fan in the family, and I was just saying to you guys off mic that he's been born into a brilliant era, hasn't he? I wish I hadn't had to go through what I've been through in 40 years to get to the buzzing stage that I'm at with Tottenham at the moment. But yeah, all good, Ricky. Thanks. Buzzing with the team, buzzing with what's going on at home, trying to keep track on what's going on with the football in between family life, and yeah, happy days, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you so much for giving up your time. I say busy time of your life, so thank you so much as always for sparing the time for Last Word on Spurs. We appreciate it. Now back to listen to very well-known returning guest. He's been on fairly frequently so far this season. Always leaves us wanting more, and he's actually in the UK at the moment. We've got the wonderful Richard Cracknell. Cracks, thank you so much for again finding the... We're coming to you in a second, don't you worry, son. Cracknell, or who did Arsenal get? How are you, Rich?
I'm very well, Rick. Evening, everybody. And when you said he's back in the UK, you could be speaking to me or Anne, because he's always here, there and everywhere across Europe. You know, I'm always here, there and everywhere across Europe. And Sammy, well done. Listen, let me give you one bit of advice, Sammy. Get yourself a good godfather for your kids, because when they start playing up, just ship them out to the Godfather like I do, where I'm currently staying at my lad's godfather's place in Westminster.
Yeah, so that sounds perfect, mate.
Honestly, as soon as there's anything I can't deal with, speak to your godfather. And they always do it. That's why Godfathers are called Godfathers, and the movie was called The Godfather. So
yeah, the person I'm thinking of selecting who's going to be selected is in Bahrain at the moment. So that sounds perfect at shipping them out.
Do me a favour, Sam. When you see him, pass him over to me for God's sake. Will you give me a break?
Rick, listen. As the great Adam Powley, the author, said earlier, the Champions League. It's this cash cow. It's bloated. It's quite obscene, really, isn't it? Money-wise, but man alive, you want to be in it, don't you? You forgive it all its sins, and when you see your name come out of that pot, and as my name says at the bottom now, somebody else's name didn't come out. Wait till that first game when we're at home and that music starts, and they've got to play on a Thursday night. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. So it's like modern day football's horrible, isn't it? All the money and it's a wash. But as soon as that Champions League music starts, bang, that's it. You're in it. You love it. So brilliant. Buzzing. Absolutely buzzing to get going in them games. Over to you, Anne.
Let's bring him in. Listen, falsely, Ant has been all over in the last three or 4 months. So for me to say he's around in the UK, that does feel like a big thing. We've got the wonderful Antony Costa from Blue back. Ant, lovely to have you on Last Word on Spurs. I think we can now say first official appearance of the season. We can't recount the pre-seasons really. So lovely to have you back on, mate. How are you?
I'm good, Rick. I'm good, mate. First of all, congrats, Sammy, mate. Congrats. Another Spurs fan in the Spurs family. Yeah, mate, I'm good, man. Just coming on for what Richard said, it's nice to be back in the hat for the Champions League draw today. We was all watching it. Mind you, though, don't that ceremony go on for ages. I'm like, mate.
Didn't actually get going to R5, 6:45, did it really?
Oh, no, just pull the balls out of the net, and just open it, and so we can all crack on with our lives.
It's worse than Eurovision, isn't it?
No, I won't go there that far.
And only one of us has ever been on Eurovision on this panel tonight, and it's not me.
Don't lie, I've seen that. I've seen you dancing to it, mate. Yeah, no, listen, I'm so excited. Tuesdays and Wednesdays now. It's going to be great for our club, and I can't wait to get there, Rick. I really can't, man. So, yeah. I'm excited.
Absolutely. I must just also say, in reference, like I say, this time around a year ago, it was Rich and Anne on our first Europa Conference League show, which we can't forget. I was told afterwards they were on catch up on Channel 5. So
he was demoted, mate. Me and Crackers was demoted.
Yeah, whilst Lee was sitting there proudly for the Premier League games, Crackers and Anne pulled the Europa League out of him.
Macca gets like top tier of Premier League. Me and Crackers get the ITVB version, like. Oh, the others can't turn up, so I'll just get Richard and Anne.
I cannot help what competition Spurs fell in. We did try and make up to them during the season. Anne did get asked away, to be fair. We got back
to Rick, me and Anne, we actually tried to big it up and talk it up, didn't we, as well? It was like, hey, it's not so bad. It's all right. It's okay. Look, it's Europe. And I mean, we try to big it up, but we're big boys now. It's like, get your big boy pants on.
Yeah, I better be doing some Champions League nights, Rick.
Well, you got to tell me if you're available or not. This is the thing now. I mean, are these teams big enough for you? Let's discuss. Let's get right into it. I mean, so Spurs' Champions League group has now been confirmed following this evening's draw in Istanbul, of course, in Turkey. So Spurs' Antony Costa are going to come up against Eintracht Frankfurt, Sporting and Marseille in Group D. Now, for our watching audience, we're going to share you today's draw on your screen right there. So that is the overall draw. So Spurs were one of 8 teams in Pot 2, and they face the real possibility of coming up against one of Europe's best from Pot 1. They avoided the likes of PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Spurs were paired up, of course, with German side Frankfurt, as you can see on your screen there. Sporting were probably the pick from Pot 3, and it did see Spurs miss out on potential games against the likes of Napoli and Inter Milan. And finally, Spurs' Group D were completed by French side Marseille. And listen, there's the draw, as you can see on your screen right there. We're going to come over to... Let's come over to you, Anne, to kind of kick off proceedings. So, I mean, based on that draw, if we're being honest about it, Frankfurt, Sporting, Marseille, listen, everyone may say there's tricky teams as ever in the Champions League, but surely Conte, Spurs, we should be confident about the draw we've been given there.
We'll always have to be confident, Rick. I think that's what makes us such passionate fans. But the reality is you have to go there knowing, these teams will be up for it at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There will be, under the lights. And I think we've got to go there and play our game and not and play the football and not play the occasion. I think there is some tricky ties, Sporting Lisbon, they're no mugs. They can do a bit. We've got the Eric Dyer derby and the Chris Waddle derby. So, the Marseille of this world, I used to watch Marseille when I was a kid because of Chris Waddle, because I love Chris Waddle. So, they hold a special place because of what he did for them. So, listen, I'm excited. I think it's a great group for us. I wouldn't say it's the easiest group, or would you? Would you say it's the easiest group? I'd say it's the most. If you're sort of going A, B, and C, I think we're sort of like B. Do you know what I'm saying? But listen, we got to go there, play our football, and just demolish these teams if and when we can.
Yeah, let's
play with no fear.
Absolutely. No, again, it is a case of being fearless in the Champions League. Let's just bring that up there back on the screen for our watching audience. Rich, let's come round to you.
Group C's mad, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it is. Group C on the screen here. You can see, let's say, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Victoria Pleasant. You'd argue say that is the group of death out of those, obviously, groups that have been drawn. Rich, listen, as we've said, it's probably an incredibly winnable group, but I don't think we can underestimate any of these teams. And I know I've seen it trending on Twitter that you would expect Spurs to get through, even with Conte's, you'd say, sketchy Champions League record. But it does give off a similar feeling to that group we had back in 2016-17, where we were drawn against Monaco, CSK Moscow and Leverkusen. What do you read into that draw for you, Rich?
Well, sometimes these groups, if you do get one like that, maybe your guard drops a little bit and you think, oh, okay, that's an easy group, and you're not on your mettle. So if you did draw Barca or PSG and a couple of more difficult ties, you might go into it with a different mindset of thinking to yourself, you've got to be on your game here tonight because this is a decent side. But Rick, there's no crap in that whole competition. None. That all of those teams could absolutely wipe the floor of us if we're not on our game. Yeah. So, you know, you come up against Frankfurt, you have to play them as if you're playing PSG. You have to go and get the job done. It's a bit like the Premier League. There's no easy games in that, is there, anymore? There's no gimmies at all. So that might stand us in good stead in this competition. And as you say, Conte's got a little bit of a sketchy, European record. So, but look, get the football back at the lane, as we call it. I don't know what it's going to be called, but it's always going to be the lane to us, isn't it? Absolutely. Get that going. Yeah. Get the place absolutely full up, like with people there. Get the banners going, get everything going, and we get behind that. Get behind the team, especially at home. Then that should be 3 home wins. If we play to our ability, then that is 3 home wins. And then if you can go and nick a couple away and a draw maybe or something, don't lose in it. That's all you got to do is not lose and then get through to the next stage. So it's maybe a blessing, maybe a curse. It all depends how well we prepare for these games. But do not under any circumstances underestimate anybody in that group. It looks easy on paper. Wait till we start playing them. Exactly. Wait till we start playing them. And, you'll get served up. If you're not on your game, you will get served up. But we've got players now with a lot of experience in the Champions League. H has played in it. Sonny's played in it. Perisic has been round the block in it. So we have got the personnel. It's all about that prep and planning now. And you've got to go into every game absolutely on your game.
Yeah. Listen, I can't disagree with any word you've said there. I'll say lots. I don't know if you can see the comments based on the platform you're on there, Rich, but lots in agreement with you. Sam, let's come over to you. I am just going to bring up that draw one more time just for watching audience here. Already over 600, 700 of you joining us. And thank you so much again across all of our platforms for the support. Sam, looking at that group, as the boys have echoed there, it does look like it's a winnable group. But again, can't underestimate any of these teams. From a travel perspective, also, it's really, really good for Tottenham. And correct me if I'm wrong there, I don't think there's any massively long flights there involved. I know many will be probably pleased that we've avoided Inter or Dortmund this time around. But, if we can get 9 points from the opening home matches, well, if we can't do that, then we don't deserve to be there. Surely, Sammy, surely we should be able to, get 9 points from those home matches.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I echo what Crackers said there as well, to be fair, Rick, because there's no dirt in there. That's all creme de la creme that you're looking at. Just before I kick off, though, I must say the aunt. Well, what's happened to my aunt? Because saying things like "you've always got to be positive," that's blown my head off. That who's replaced him?
I ain't come to that yet, Sammy, mate.
Eh?
I haven't come to my other side of Costa yet, mate. Just keep it real. Just keep it real.
I thought he was replaced my man here. What's going on?
Let's not banter them down the road. Let's carry on. Let's concentrate on us, mate. Let's
concentrate on us. And listen, and if you can't be positive at the moment, then we've got no hope, have we? But but I mean, it's a real positive time for Tottenham. It's a funny one for me, Rick, right? Because I look at our group and. I mean, I love the Champions League like everybody else does, and I've watched the best football of my life at the Champions League games. So everybody wants to be in it, and everybody wants to watch it, whether they're in it or not, which is what I love about the Champions League. But you might disagree with me, but I want the big guns in the draw. It's funny. I don't really want to think, because I'm a Tottenham fan, and what we're used to is going, that should be easy, and it never been easy. And that's just been put into our blood. I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of a large majority of Tottenham fans that we've always lost games that we should have won and always won games that we shouldn't. And And I look at it and it scares me a bit, if I'm honest. I want the big guns. It's like when you go in, or maybe just one in there, Real Madrid, PSG. You want to see.
You're saying you would have liked the Glamour tie, essentially, Sam.
I just want what, it's like when you go to a club that, there's always one there's always one out of the five girls that everybody wants to steam into. But and I want to see that. I want to have one of those games, because if we lose it, we've still got a chance of making it with the other ties we've got. I just want to see the big games for Tottenham. But one of the things that I was thinking is it's not just the players that we've got. Our Champions League advantage does not come from our players. It comes from Antonio Conte and his experience in the competition.
Do you think, though, Sam? Because I must just ask you about that. I mean, listen, that's the only thing I think as a level at Conte. He's a brilliant manager in terms of domestic. We've seen it in the Premier League. Yeah. We've seen it in Serie A. But I think the only thing accused against him is that his real lack of, I don't know what it is, trying to get forward in the Champions League. I think he's not actually done that well in the Champions League, I'm being honest with you. No. I think that's why, I don't know what you think, Sam. That's why it's going to be very interesting, I think, how he manages the campaign for Spurs, both in the Champions League and the Premier League week to week, because there have to be a lot of rotation there. I mean, do you back him based on that draw? He should be very happy with that, given the sketchy record he's got, right?
Yeah, let me just clarify that. What I'm saying is Antonio Conte to those clubs is a threat, and he's going in there with a strong mind. He can achieve in any competition. I think what's happened is with Conte is the world have sat up and started talking about Tottenham Hotspur again, and everybody's talking about Tottenham, Rick. Everyone's talking about us. And it's due to Antonio Conte. And I think we've got that the leverage of the manager going into that competition, where they're obviously all going to be looking at us as the threat. Is that a positive or is it a negative, though? Because, these teams are going to come out and give absolutely everything at Tottenham, like we are the big dog in their group. And this is what I'm saying to you. I wouldn't mind a couple of big ties or one big tie in the group just to level things out, because this could quite easily turn into a 1-1, a late 90-minute. And there's me being skeptical now. I'm normally the positive one, but and then you're fighting for the group. So I look at it and just think, I'm confident. I hope that before we get really stuck into to Champions League football, Conte has found his. Because even though we're doing incredibly well, we haven't found our
best 11 yet, have we? We haven't found our
best 11. No. And he's mixing them up. We haven't seen anything of Bissouma, what he can bring to the table. And I am a firm believer that given time, Antonio Conte will bring Jed Spence into one of the most superior players in the Premier League. His pace is faster than Kyle Walker. He's got so much talent. I just think we needed a little bit of time to mould that squad. Whether he goes safe with players like Højbjerg, etc., who's been phenomenal lately. I've really sat up and started to think Højbjerg's got what it takes, and I've been skeptical about him in the past. And this is the thing for the fans. We're even like, who's going to start? Because I firmly believe that if Perisic started against Chelsea, it would have been a win. Even though Sessegnon scored, not taking anything away from him, I just thought we sent a guy who hasn't got his big boy wings yet into a big boy game, and Perisic should have been there to back it. So there's all these questions around it that Antonio Conte has to answer for us. But looking at the draw, I'm happy with it, but I'd like to have been in with the big guns.
Okay, I mean that's really interesting. Listen, again, coming over to you, Rich. Some may feel, that's actually quite a tough group, because all the teams there, they're not powerhouses, as you said, but you shouldn't underestimate these teams at your peril. And, I think the thing is for Spurs, which is key, is that start well, get yourself qualified, and then however that competition plays out towards the latter stages, that's when you can start to rotate and mix players in. But you would imagine Conte will want to start his most strongest team yet, which, acknowledgement to Sammy, I think I agree. We don't know our strongest team just yet. But, for example, Marseille, I think a team like that, again, they're a side that are, it's quite a wild place to go, really. They're going to be right up for that. It's not going to be easy. I know many people were quite fearing during a team during Marseille itself. But, of the three teams that are there, Rich, is there anyone that scares you most?
Rick, like I said in the opening part, all of them scare me. and that's no bad thing. Be fearful of all of them because they're all technically very good sides. There's again, I just go back to that issue of there being no bad sides in this competition. It's as simple as that. So you just have to go to every team and play them with your best team and to the best of your ability and prepare as such. Really, what goes against us is we are the Glamour drawer in that group now. We are the big guns in there. So they're all going to come and want to have a little shot at the title. They're all going to enjoy coming to the lane, all coming to London. You know, so you've got fan bases. I mean, Frankfurt, they travel unbelievably. Their fans, they make no doubts about it. They will fill their away end.
They intimidate every other team, Frankfurt. I was going to say that before, Crackers, about Frankfurt.
Wonderful fan base. Wonderful fan base.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I'll tell you what, any tickets available in the home end, they'll take them as well. So they will come. They will come en masse. And, you know, you can't underestimate their fans getting behind them at the lane. And so, again, there's a job for us to do as fans now to make sure we get right behind the team, especially at home, you know, because Frankfurt will be there and in big numbers and make big noise, and that will lift them. So, yeah, you know, it's a double-edged sword, an easy group on paper, but they will all want to come and have a shot at us because we are the Glamour tie there. So, listen, those big guns that Sammy speaks about, they'll come. If you get through the group, then you are going to end up facing a PSG, a Real Madrid. But also, we need to start thinking of ourselves in the same terms as those teams as well.
Absolutely. That mentality.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have the mentality of saying, we're here on merit. You know, we've got this fantastic stadium, now a fantastic team. We've got one of Europe's elite managers, one of the world's elite managers. We've got Kane and Son up front, who are an elite front two, but literally, I mean, if you put Kane and Son up for sale tomorrow, who wouldn't take them? Real Madrid had come in for them, Barca had come in for them, Munich had come in for them, Milan had come in for them. So there's another elite two. So you have to start going in with that elite mentality as well. Yeah. That you've got every right to be there and not just that, you know, that thing of, oh, great, you know, we're away to a big club. No, we're a big club as well. You have to build that mentality and go and own these types of games. So, but any complacency, Rick, as I said, it's going to get punished, and it will get punished big time.
Yeah,
so,
and this is where, again, I think, you know, coming over to you, Anne, the fans are going to be the difference in those home games. That Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, we know Spurs song sheets, THFC flags. They've worked so hard over the last 12 months to really bring the atmosphere to the stadium. And we've got absolutely no doubt that we're going to see those big atmospheres, carnival atmospheres on these nights in the Champions League. Because I agree with Rich. I think all those teams are going to want to come to Tottenham. And as Richard said, we are the Glamour tie. And therefore, almost like we have Mourinho in charge. And the same with Conte now. And again, Pochettino. Everybody wants to beat these managers, these players, and there will be an expectancy on Spurs to get the result. And it's how we handle that tag of being favourites. And we know in the past, and that hasn't necessarily always been the case with Spurs, how well they've handled that. How do you think, and you know, we talk a lot about mentality on Arsenal and Spurs. You've always championed the way in which we have to build that mentality. Could you back us to cope mentally with the fact that we are favourites, essentially, out of this group?
That's a good question, mate. It's just for me. This is where Conti has to thrive. This is where Conti has to prove, which he is prove. I'm not saying he has to prove, but he has to show that what a top elite manager he really, really is. We all know that he is. I'm just saying, Champions League is completely different to that Europa Conference last year, which we obviously didn't finish. So this is the elite of the elites, and we got to go there all guns blazing, mate. We've got to go there firing. We can't give these teams too much respect. Even when we go over to their place, we have to play our football. If Frankfurt are have their amazing fan base, which they have, and they're singing and shouting and screaming, we've got to ignore that and play our football, mate, and just carry on. I don't want to be seeing like a couple of years ago, oh, we need to score 1 to get through, and the other team need to score 2, and we can't let that one. I just can't handle that. My heart can't take it. Just carry on, play our football, win the games. If we win, fantastic. If we lose, never. It is what it is. That's football. But I don't want to be seeing our group. He's got to score 2, and we've got to score 5, and they've got to draw, and we've got to lose 1 game. I can't take it. Like that last one with Barcelona. Do you remember? More scored, and it was all right, and we was all waiting patiently. And no, man.
But I mean, but I agree with you. But that is the nature, isn't it, of the Champions League? You're always going to get twists and turns. I mean, listen, I agree with you. You want to get the job done early, and with the group that we've got, Sammy, it's not imposter syndrome here.
We can get it early.
With the group we've got, we can get it done early, and there should be an expectancy that Spurs can hopefully get the points on the board early, and then have the opportunity to be able to rotate, change players towards the end of those fixtures, providing we've got the job done. But it is about getting that job done, and I agree with a lot of what's been said here. Can't underestimate the teams, but again, very winnable group from what we've been given. I think, a lot of Spurs fans, as you said, Sammy, I know you really want that glamour tie there, but if it's about actually believing that we can win this competition, and let's bear in mind the fact that when Spurs got to the Champions League final to Pochettino, I think we all agree now that this squad, although we had the likes of Alderweireld, Vertonghen, I think we've got a better balanced squad now than we had under Pochettino at that time. I think we all probably agree with that. We've now got a manager in Conti. No disrespect to Pochettino, we all probably feel Conte has got that, maybe that little bit more of the game management side that, Maurizio maybe lacked to some degree. That's not to downplay him because, again, love Pochettino, loved his time here. But you do feel under Conte, it's now a real opportunity for this group alone to really grow and hit that knockout stage, Sam.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you're all saying there. And the reason why I want the big guns, make no mistake, I'm not just wanting a glitz and glamour, but you will face them at some point. Do you want to face them when we're having to field? Oh, sorry, my dog's jumped onto the. Do you want to face them when your squad are tired and he's fielding players that that necessarily would have been B teams, or do you want to face them when you're fighting fit? Make no mistake, Ricky. I want to face these clubs because I believe Tottenham Hotspur can beat them right now, and that's why. And that's why I want to see those games. But something Ant said there, he's bang on the money. When he said it, I was like, correct. He's not showing them too much respect, and I think that's what we've always done. I mean, whether we've won or lost. Now, the Conte doesn't do that. He doesn't do it. He wants a fight. He's publicly come out and said we're a predatorial club. Anger leads the way. I want to fight. He wants a gunfight. He doesn't want to show any respect to anybody. He's there to win. And he's relentless. Honestly, I love it. He's from the dark side, and you need a little bit of that in the squad. You can see by the players that he's purchasing. I'm sure you've covered it a hell of a lot of times. But Richarlison, Perisic, Romero.
Basuma.
You cross the road if you were walking towards them. They're badasses. And the bottom line is we've got those type of players, and we've got the type of manager now to not show them the respect. Go out there and fill them in, because we can do that. And I thought that was brilliant what Ant said there, because I think Tottenham have done that. I think sometimes we've gone, oh my God, we're against these guys or those guys, and we have always been. And once that first goal goes in, no matter what manager it was, Pochettino or not, we were flaky apart from that Ajax game. But that's another point as well where we just don't know what's going to happen, because. Listen, we're on this show to represent Spurs fans, to voice our opinions, to make sure that we discuss things that all Spurs fans want to know and love and believe in, and give them hope and give them reality and whatever. But the fact of the matter is, we don't have a sodding clue, because if any Spurs fan out there tells me that they believe Lucas Moura was going to do what he did to put us through to, no one would have known Lucas Moura would have achieved that. So we just don't know what's going to happen. it's just so I'm so excited for the Champions League.
That's what I'm saying, Sam. Would you rather be in the group of that hard group, Group C, for example, or the group we're in now? Because
I'd rather be in a hard group.
Okay.
So you just on the screen there for watching audience there. You see, you're saying you'd rather be on C there. You'd rather be in C, Sam. Really?
Controversially, right? If you don't win this round, if you win this round and lose the next round, you're out the Champions League. If you win 2 rounds and not the round after that, you're out the Champions League. You're out the Champions League if you're out the Champions League. If you don't win the Champions League, you don't win the Champions League. Do you know what I mean? So the bottom line is go at them. Go get. I'd like to see a big game in there. I'd love for one of the opening games of the Champions League to be PSG versus Tottenham. Of course I would. You're mental if you don't. Could you imagine if we get knocked out of this group? God forsake we did. And I genuinely don't believe we will. But God forsake we get knocked out of this group. And people go, oh my God, Tottenham again. But if we're going down, I'm going down. We're going down properly. I do believe, Adrian. I've seen your comment there, buddy. I'm honestly, if you listen to the show, I'm such a believer in positive Tottenham. But what I'm saying to you is this: I believe we can beat PSG. I genuinely do. I just want to see it. I want to see it early doors. I want to attack him, and I just want to see one big game in the group. I just don't want to look at a group and go, "Hey, aren't we lucky?" Because it's not cricket. That
because you can't win, Sammy. If we get through this group, flying colours, right? We're never. It's what I said on a couple last year's show. We're never going to get the respect anyway.
The respect will come once we hit those once we hit the knockout stages. That's the reality.
Any fan of the other, them lot down the road, right? Okay, if we battered every team and we topped our group, blah blah, we wouldn't get no respect. That's fine. That's football. But if we lost every game, trust me, they'll be saying, "Yeah, well, you're not that big enough, are you?" Like most fans would.
Yeah, and that all comes down. That all comes down if you listen to them having a shout. It's like if these 15-year-old kids on social media that'll be going, "Oh, you got bounced up." Well, hang on, you never even got an invite to the party. You weren't even there. You never even like. So it's just
down the road. They are never going to show us any respect, and quite frankly, I'm never going to respect them. But what I'm saying is I'm the blue partners further south.
I love the fact. I love the fact that we're hated. It's
a good thing, but
what I'm saying is the world is looking at us at the moment. They are.
Which is great. This is what I'm saying.
Are a huge club at the moment. They're massive.
Yeah, we're getting there. And I think we got to take that to the next level. And as I said, you've got to go to these teams, the Marseilles of this world, the Sporting Lisbons and the Frankfurts, and just absolutely be top dog. Yeah. Let them fit us. We could be singing, shouting, screaming, dancing, and in the stadium. If we go 1-0 down first 10 minutes, for example, that's when the mentality comes in.
Let me ask you a question. How many times have you been in a pub or been somewhere and some fat geezer comes up and goes, "Oh, Blues to Bob, you as a band of rubbish. You're this, you're that." Some Tyler from Preston with a great big fat beer gut is telling you about how terrible you are as a band. How many bands has he been in? And it's the same thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like you're always going to get that. You'll get West Ham fans, like when we lose, telling you about this, that, and everything else. Like, who's listening to them? Like, I just like, what have you ever done? Like, they made the quarterfinals of the Thursday night cup. So it's just like, carry on.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is the fact that we need to start games with no fear, because I always go back to that Juventus game. Chiellini's first, his famous quote, "It is the Tottenham. This is what they do." We were the better side that day. This is what I'm saying. And it's all about the mentality. It's all about Conte, as you said, Rich, setting us up for them big games where we don't fail. If we lose by a wonder shot or they're the better side, that's football. We got, but it's the mistake we got to get out of our system.
Do you know what this squad would really benefit from? And I was just chatting to my friend Bill.
Yeah.
If we got somebody back to the club like a Modric or another Perisic, I think if we can get another experienced player in, because somebody like Perisic in this group stage is going to be absolutely vital. Absolutely vital. Been there, done it. So, I mean, if that's somebody that's 33, 34, you know, a free on the front of their age, but a player that's been there and done it, I would take them, Rick. I would take them. Because don't forget, last year, when Real Madrid got through to the final, that outside of the boot pass from Modric to get them back in that game, to get through to the final, was just like, wow. So, you know, it's all very well having kids coming in the sides and prospects and Spence and people like that. But in the Champions League, that experience is absolutely vital. And I would take at least one more older, wiser head that's been there and done it. If you offer me Modric back now to Spurs, I'd take him all day long. All day long.
You know, it's interesting. You've got a question on the screen there from Tin Man, who says, having had a favourable draw in the Champions League, do you think it's a big opportunity to make a couple of statement signings before next week? And what do you reckon?
Please, Tin Man, you're right, mate. He's spot on. He's spot on. This is what we spoke about this morning, Rick and Richard. We need another centre back and another attacking midfielder, or I'm hearing a wide man to cut in. You know, play on his left but can cut in, etc. Regardless who it is, they've got to be lined up now, because we've got 6.5 days left now, and I think we need to start making a statement. Do you know what I mean? And having that momentum.
That's fine.
For the games coming up.
Yeah, but I think overall, listen, I think in terms of the draw, everybody, like I say here, this is what we love Last Word on Spurs. Everybody has their own opinions, their difference of opinions. Yeah, and that's why we love to air them on Last. That's why we love to air them on Last Word on Spurs. Yeah. But I think overall, listen, we've got ourselves a winnable group. But as the message has been throughout this last half an hour, don't take that at your peril. You've still got to go and get the job done. Don't underestimate these teams. As we've said, the stadium needs to be a fortress. And again, I'll say it, you know, shout out to Spurs song sheets, THFC flags. Those home games are going to be absolutely pivotal to get those points on early, because the away games, believe me, those away games, going away to Frankfurt, to Sporting, it's in Marseille, they're all going to be tricky. They're never going to be easy. It's the Champions League. As Richard said, there's no dud teams in here. Everybody's in here based on their merit of what they've done in the league domestically last season. So we can't forget that.
Do you know one of my favourite Euro Champions League games was us against Borussia Dortmund at Wembley, when Vertonghen was just unbelievable.
Unbelievable that night.
Loved it. I love that. You're on the money. You're right.
That to me, I was like, excuse my French, effing out. Like, what is going on? We started the game, front foot, atom. They didn't know what hit them. And as I said, Vertonghen was just unplayable that night.
He was unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, just
you know what I mean? We can't. Some of these players have got it in their lockers. They've been there, done it, worn the t-shirt. But it's that next level now.
I totally agree. Just to summarise, in terms of the other teams that we've seen, obviously in this draw, in terms of the English side, Chelsea, they've landed themselves quite a relatively nice group for them. They've got in their group, it's Group E, AC Milan, Chelsea, obviously RB Salzburg, Dynamo Zagreb. City's group, pretty tough. Seville, Borussia Dortmund, Copenhagen. So it's a rapid return for Erling Haaland, who is going to be up against, the Bundesliga club. That grouping for City, Seville, Borussia Dortmund, Copenhagen. We'll show that draw one more time from today. And then we've got Liverpool's draw. They're going to play Dutch champions Ajax. They've got Napoli. And they've also got last season's Europa League runners-up Rangers in there as well, who stuns PSV Eindhoven last night in that qualifier. So Napoli, as we've said, completing that group. Rangers and Ajax there. Celtic, they have got themselves a dream home and away clash against Real Madrid. They're a real glamour tie for them. RB Leipzig and Ukrainian side, Shakhtar Donetsk, making up that Group F. Group B, we've got Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich, Club Brugge in there, and Porto. And Group H, PSG, Juventus, Benfica, Maccabi Haifa. And as we've referred to on this show so far, that supposed group of death, as you can see, Group C there, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Inter Milan, with Czech side Victoria Pleasant. Feel how they're feeling tonight after seeing that draw come out the hat. And just a reminder, match day 1. So that takes place, as far as we understand it, that's going to be commencing Monday, September the 5th, with match day 2 taking place the following week. So match day 3, 4.
A couple of weeks away.
Yeah, it's going to come around really fast. Match day 3,
Is
4, 5.
First game at home?
Not yet confirmed. So we're expecting you ever to confirm the scheduling in due course. So like I say, as always on Last Word on Spurs, we'll be providing you post-match analysis to every single Champions League game, home and away. Make sure you're subscribed, liking Last Word on Spurs. All these guys.
Ricky Sachs, the hardest working man in show business. He works even harder than you, Anne. You know that. This man bringing you content all the time.
I can't be as hard work as Antony Costa, that's for sure. I've travelled around 14 continents in the last month, I tell you. I bloody haven't. I really haven't.
Champions League of podcasting you are, Rick. Make no mistake.
Well, touche. We try. Honestly, I tell you. What we will just do, guys, listen, we are going to go for our first break of the show for our listeners on audio. For our watching audience on YouTube, there's a good 700 to 800 of you here. And it's only right, like I say, we've got this audience. Nothing, forgive me for this Beavertown Brewery. We should have had you on from the start. We've got you on now. We are delighted, of course, to be sponsored by the Beavertown Corner Pin. They are bang opposite your South Stand at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We are delighted to announce we are going to be having a live event there later on in the season. Not going to be hopefully too long to be able to tell you about. And of course, they are running, as you can see on their screen, the home when away features. Rich is on there. John from the White Rose proudly on there. Giant telly in the garden. The pre-match DJs playing our favourite songs. You can book your televised away spot for Nottingham Forest now. There is still tickets available. And you just need to go to www.beavertownbrewery.co.uk/pages, corner-pin. Forest still available. Go and check out Beavertown Brewery. We're going to be trying to get back down there.
Who was that good-looking grey-haired guy in that Beavertown advert? What a dish he was. Did you see him in the gilet?
Rich, that's the best acting I've ever seen, mate. And you're lucky to hear someone going, action.
Brings a new meaning to extras. That
you know what, Rick? Listen, I know they sponsor you and everything, and listen, if somebody's paying you to be sponsored, you're always going to big them up. Simple as that. But I have to tell you, it is a terrific afternoon now in Beavertown, and I'm not getting paid for it. You are, but listen, come along now because it is a good afternoon now. It's a good beer. They've got a great big screen. And it is top drawer. It is really, really good entertainment now. And I'm not getting a tanner for that. I'm just telling you, if you want to go and watch a bit of football, go there.
No, he's not getting a tenner, but he's
not going to give me one of the Queen's pounds for that. I'm just telling you, you'll have a good afternoon. Bill, how many good afternoons have we had there? There's my friend in the background, Beavertown. Get there, watch the game. Job done.
Big up Beavertown, big up.
We are hoping to see, like I say, see all you lovely people down at some point this season. But as I've been saying, Crackers has been in Spain, Ant has been away as well. Lee's currently in Spain, so we are hoping to all get back down together. Sammy's got to come down as well, but he's currently got his hands full. And I won't just say how much he's got his hands full at the moment, but he has got his hands full. But we are going to discuss as well. I mean, listen, it wasn't going to make the running order, but it's found its way in there. That's Dele Alli's move now to Besiktas. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's probably the last time we probably discussed Dele in any real length on Last Word on Spurs, because I think, again, over the course of the last 5-6 years of doing Last Word on Spurs, all these guys have had their opinions on Dele Alli throughout the years. The good, the bad, the brilliant, the not so brilliant. And I think, again, it's probably the final time in terms of we're going to have that discussion about Dele Alli, who has completed a season-long loan move to Besiktas, with the club also having an option to buy the midfielder. We understand that fee is going to be around 6 million before the 1st of Jan, or for 8 million after that until June. Otherwise, Ali will return to Everton, where he would just have that 1 year left on his contract. A really disappointing period for Dele, you have to say. At Everton, it was just for him making 13 appearances, including just 2 as a substitute. And unbelievably, like I say, I think the one full appearance he made was against Arsenal last season in really Everton's game, where it was meaningless because they'd already stayed up. Let's start with you, Sammy, because I know you have always been a massive Dele Alli fan. Sad to see the decline of Dele and where his career's ended up so far, Sam?
Of course it is. If you're a football fan, it's sad to see, because the Dele Alli, everyone in England believed in Dele Alli. That's the beauty that we had, because he played for our country. So I think everybody started to believe in him, didn't they? And do you know what hurt me when he left Tottenham was this? I used to love the relationship he had with Harry Kane, Eric Dyer, and they had this boisterous relationship that I thought was really good for the club. We saw him perform he put on some extraordinary performances, Dele Alli, didn't he, for us? And I know I'm in the minority now when I say I really hope that he's still got it, because I just do. But it just dropped, didn't it, like a lead balloon, and it has declined. I was listening to our friends on Talk Sport the other day talking about it and his move and what his move means. And I thought to myself, he can't be happy. But then I saw his transfer this morning, and he looks over the moon. So it's so strange. Maybe that's where he can get. He seems to have this persona, Dele, doesn't he? I think he wants to be something more than a footballer outside of football, which is why Mourinho got it absolutely spot on with him. I think he could see that that transition of the hairstyles, the sponsorship, the Instagram, changing him. Do you know, this fame changing him? And I think it took his eye off the football. But I think he wants to be something big. And do you know what? I think in that league he probably will be. Absolutely no disrespect to Dele Alli or the Turkish league in any way whatsoever. That wasn't meant in a derogatory manner. What I mean is, he's a big, he's a big name going there. He's obviously a big deal going to that club. So I do hope that we see snippets of him achieving. Although I do not like it when players leave Tottenham and start becoming worldies like Lamela and obviously recently and Ndombele and whoever it is that leaves Tottenham and starts putting in the effort. It seems to be bananas. But with Dele, it just we've got a box at Blackpool Football Club, and we went to watch pre-season Blackpool versus Everton, and he was stand out, because of the difference
of the inferior opposition that he's up against.
The difference in the class. Yep. He was all over the pitch, mate. He was unbelievable. He was. I was half there to see him and half there, for corporate. I really wanted to go and see Dele Alli. I loved seeing what he was like on the ball, his touches, his finesse, because he's always had finesse, hasn't he? And he's always had something a little bit magical about him. We'll all never forget the outside of the boot over the goalkeeper at Arsenal, will we? And we'll never forget the turnaround at Crystal Palace. Dele Alli, I've got a lot of love for players that have brought me moments like that at Tottenham, whether they've ended up being a big part of it or not, because they brought amazing memories for me and my club at the time. But we wish him the best. It's just a shame to see him go.
Yeah, I mean, Ant, coming over to you. I mean, this is probably the crux of why we're discussing Dele. They are going to, Everton, avoid having to pay Spurs a 10 million fee as Dele falls short of the 7 appearances to trigger that 20-match payment threshold, which was agreed with Tottenham back in January. Although, as we understand, Spurs are entitled to a decent percentage of any profit Everton make on the midfielder, and there is still a sizable saving being made on the player who has no longer been deemed essential at Goodison Park. I mean, overall, Ant, listen, I know we've discussed Dele at length on this show. Probably your final time doing it on Last Word on Spurs. Sum up how you feel about Dele, and I think it's a shame in terms of confidence-wise, because someone like yourself that is, again, part of a really well-known boy band out there, I'm sure you're saying as a performer, confidence is everything. And when you lose confidence, it's very hard to get that back. And I think, whatever's happened with Dele off the pitch, which is really hard to speculate on for sure, confidence is one thing you can see has been drained out of Dele Alli for a number of different reasons over the years.
100%, Rick. 2015 when he signed for Spurs, or 14, young player of the year. Assists speak for himself. He had the world at his feet, but he just lost hunger. He lost the hunger. The body, his body language just lost it. And that chat with Mourinho on the All or Nothing documentary, Mourinho was spot on what he said. In a blink of an eye, your 20s are going to go, and you're going to regret not doing or being that person that you can be. And, bless Dele, he's just sitting there smiling, nodding and stuff. Okay, that's just how he is. But he had the world at his feet, mate. And I hope for his sake and his own health, he goes to Turkey now he's there and regains his form and maybe come back to the Premier League in 3 or 4 years' time. And he might be at the peak of his career and be fantastic again. But I wish him all the best and see where his career goes now.
I just agree on the screen. It seems like a Dele funeral we playing football. Listen, it's not about, I think, again, we have to remember this guy, just to read out his stats coming over to you, Rich. 269 appearances for Tottenham, 67 goals, 51 of those in the Premier League. He was a double PFA Young Player of the Year, scoring on his England debut, playing in the World Cup, 10 goals, 9 assists in the 15-16 season, 18 goals and 7 assists in the 16-17 season. A big part of what Spurs were building under Mauricio Pochettino. I think, again, we afford Dele the time on Last Word on Spurs because of the great memories that he gave us during that period. And overall, I think, again, by the fact Spurs are entitled to some form of a fee, this is why it's a talking point for us here on a day on which he's completed that move to Besiktas. Overall, for you, Rich, where do you sit on Dele Alli? And, how do you feel about the fact now that his career isn't going in that direction it really should be going, since obviously departing Tottenham, going to Everton and now Besiktas? And no disrespect to Besiktas, but I think we all agree, for a player of Dele's ability that we saw in 16-17, shouldn't really be at Besiktas. And again, in the most, how can I put that, in the most politest terms?
Rick, the only time a footballer should be going to Turkey is to get their hairline done. It's as simple as that. That's just fact. Like that's the only time they should be there. There's tons of passion, but it's a footballing graveyard. And he's 26 years old. He shouldn't be there. He should be one of those players at Tottenham now that is absolutely undroppable, £100 million player. But only one person can help Dele, and that's Dele. So whatever it is that's going on in his life, in the background, away from football, the noise and whatever he's got caught up in, he can either stay caught up in it or he can pull away from it, change his life, buckle down. And do you know what? Within 18 months, he could be back to where he is. Look at Tyson Fury. There's a sportsman, but got up to like 25, 26 stone. And then all of a sudden he went, I'm not having this. I'm going to change my life around. But only Tyson could do it. Now, whatever's going on in Dele's life, I've done it myself, Rick. I've been there. I've done it. And I got dog's abuse on Twitter because when he went, I said, you've made your bed, you better lie in it. And it's as simple as that. Some tough love. At one stage, Rick, 5 years ago, I was 35 stone. And, I had demons and this and that and took actions. And now I'm not 35 stone. I've knocked off 15, 16 stone from that.
I'm into you for that.
Do you know, but I had to own that. Only I could do that for myself. I could be told it, and Dele's been told it, but until you own it yourself, you can't deal with it. So whatever it is going on around Dele, if he straightens up and concentrates on him and his career, he can get it back. And literally within 18 months, 2 years, he could be back in the Prem.
Yeah.
He's a natural footballer. He's a baller. Go on.
Sorry, mate. Firstly, amazing, by the way, what you just said about yourself. Well in, pal. But somebody put a comment there, and I'm sorry that I missed the name, and it said, who would have thought that Dele would have been heading to Turkey and Eric Dyer would have been one of our key players. I'm sorry, exactly. I can't remember who put that comment, but I think that's brilliant because do you know who could see? The managers. And it was all, they see things that we don't. And every manager has backed Eric Dyer, even at times when our fans haven't, by the way, where we've all thought it was game over for him. They've played him, they've improved him, they've made sure that they're getting the best out of Eric Dyer because he gives everything. But what they saw is they saw that lack of desire from Dele Alli. All the managers did. Mourinho, Mourinho, world's greatest manager, picked up on it, mate. So, it was going to happen, wasn't it, if he didn't change it himself, as you said.
Go on, Cracks.
But like Ant said with Jose Mourinho, I didn't like Jose, but what he said to Dele would absolutely, it will live with me forever. Because Jose's a man of a similar age to me. Yeah, I'm 52. How old's Jose? What's he? Similar age to me.
You got a few years. You got a few years on him, Rich. Still, you got a few years on him.
Yeah, well, a couple of years. But he said to Dele, didn't he? Listen, within a blink of an eye, that's it. You'll be 50.
Yep.
And
how many games did he play, Rich? How many games did he play?
For Spurs or for Everton?
Well, no, for Spurs after that.
For Spurs,
after
I think what we...
So go back to lockdown. Say the 2020 lockdown when football came back. Go from that point. How many games did he actually play for Spurs?
Well, listen, we saw after that interview, it was questioned. It was questioned, are you Dele's brother? And we had that moment. We saw a glimpse when we had that wonderful goal at Old Trafford. But apart from that Old Trafford goal, really, like I say, that initial spark when Mourinho came in. But it just felt like, Rich, as you said, I agree with you. It's a poignant moment where Mourinho almost could tell he was losing him already in those early days. He criticised him for being a lazy trainer.
But he never listened to him, Rick, did he? He never listened to him. And he was spot on. But at some stage, I just hope that he listens to these, like, you know, these old boys like Jose, like us sat here, you know, but telling him things, you know, just listen. But until he owns it, Rick, that'll be him. He'll play out there and it will just finish. And he'll never be financially, you know, constrained by anything. He's earned plenty of money out of the game. But what a waste.
There's a lad here. Right. So I'm not even going to go in. I can't be bothered.
What's that?
No, there's a lad here keeps going, I wouldn't listen to Mourinho either, Jordan. Okay, that's your opinion. But the man's won everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Whether you like the man or not, he won everything.
If he's telling you what to do when you're at his club, you listen to him, don't you?
He wasn't giving Dele football advice. He was giving him some life advice.
Life and human advice.
Correct.
This is what
personal advice.
I've had it done to me at 19 years old. I thought I knew everything. And my old man sat me down and said X, Y, and Z. I went, yeah, all right, Dad, whatever. I'm cool. And I lost everything because I didn't listen. So he's got another chance. He's got another bite of the cherry. So good luck to him. Yeah. Okay, he played well against Liverpool last season for us. Okay, brilliant. But what I'm trying to say is how many games under 3 different managers from when Mourinho got sacked did he play?
Well, and even when you couple that, I have to add even Frank Lampard to that. You know, a guy that Lampard, his generation, was one of the greatest midfielders in the Premier League.
Unbelievable player.
And a guy that was almost like Dele, knowing how to arrive at the right time in the box. And you just feel if Lampard can't get it out of him, if Conte, if Nuno, if Mourinho, and even, dare I say, Pochettino towards the end of his reign, there's no surprise, I think, there's no coincidence that the minute Pochettino started dipping at Tottenham, so did Dele. There's a definite parallel in between that, which again is a real shame. I think, again, for us, all we want to do is, I think, I'm sure we'll all agree, see Dele rekindle his career and get back to his best. Because I say at 26, his career, as Richard said, is far from over. At 26, you know, there's still the opportunity there to really get that career back on track. Fingers crossed, back in the Premier League. And this is just my personal opinion. I would love to see him be in a position where he's good enough to come back to Spurs in the prime of where he was 2016-17. But I'm not sure if we'll ever see that Dele again. I'm not sure. But again, want to wish Dele all the best. It's incredible, really. I say incredible in terms of just what the belief was when he was coming in, what he achieved. I think, again, it's just really, really sad. We wish Dele all the best on Last Word on Spurs. And just to also clarify, for Turkey, Turkey's a lovely destination for holidays, and maybe there's not in terms of going to play your football there. I think, as we said earlier, Turkey is a place, I mean, again, for Dele, 26 years old, it's a real shame at that age he's going to Turkey, and that's what we're relating it to. You know, there's nothing wrong in terms of Turkey for holidays, Turkey in general, but in terms of a player with his ability at 26 years old, 100% Dele should be, you know, at the peak of his career right now, being part of Spurs' midfield that are taking us forward under Antony Costa. Brilliant. So I think on Dele,
he's a big fish. Just to end up on that, he's a big fish in a little pond, isn't he? And if you look back through the history, listen, I'm not, you know, I'm not into psychoanalyzing people, reading people's behaviours. But if you look back, that's what he wanted, and he's just disappointed because he had the skill to make it happen. And just to end on that note, what Crackers said there is the pièce de résistance. There ain't nobody else that can do it for him other than him. So we'll just wish him the best.
Absolutely.
Rick, you're spot on. Turkey as a country, Turkey as people is absolutely spot on. And my point is about going there with a football career. Like, as you say, nothing wrong with the place at all, but you shouldn't be there at 26.
Not in the prime of your
football career. No, he should be licking his lips tonight, going to play Frankfurt and going to play Sporting and going to Marseille. And we should be all gathered round here this evening talking and going, I can't wait to see Dele get out there and play in the Champions League. That's what we should be saying. And that's all we want. If he can get that back, and he can get it back, but as long as he wants to. Yeah. But back in some of the big football powerhouses. And listen, I wish him all the best, and I hope he finds a bit of peace as a person, which in turn he'll find some peace and some form again as a wonderful, wonderful footballer. He was magic to watch, absolutely magic. I really hope he gets it back.
Good luck to him.
I totally agree. No, listen, we all wish Dele the best. What we will just do is we will just go for our first break of our final break of the show for our listeners and audio. For our watching audience, we've got a good 700, 800 of you watching us live. Again, thank you so much for all your support for Last Word on Spurs. Fourth show of the week. We're joined by the wonderful Sammy Powell, Mr. Richard Cracknell, and the wonderful Antony Costa and Last Word on Spurs. Taking you into this break for our listeners and audio, you're going to hear from a couple of different Nottingham Forest podcasts that gives you their views ahead of Spurs taking on Nottingham Forest at the City Ground on Sunday. And just a reminder, once again, we missed it off in the intro, that again, Beavertown Brewery, they have still got opportunities to go and get tickets for this Sunday's televised away game. They are bang opposite the Spurs Stadium, and you can book your spot right now still in order to, like I say, watch Nottingham Forest against Tottenham at the Beavertown Corner Pin. And for anybody, like I say, that wants that website right now, that's beavertownbrewery.co.uk/pages/corner-pin. Make sure you go and check out Beavertown Brewery. Right, guys, it is time. I clearly put Richard off there. Sorry, Rich. It is time for the Nottingham Forest preview. Like I say, we've heard from a couple of listeners there on audio for those that are listening to this podcast. So coming over to you, Sammy, to start this one off. Looks like Richard's actually got a personal chef there in the background. Like I say, it's unbelievable. Back in the UK, and he's even got chefs now. There you go.
A Brazilian chef by the looks of things, number 10.
I'm glad someone's doing it. There you go. Is he coming over?
Oh, that's made me laugh, that has.
Go on, Bob.
Here he is. Hey, Ronaldo.
The show always finds a way. A wave there, and I say we'll try and carry on now.
I'll tell you what's more than likely is Richard doesn't even know that guy, and he's drinking his Chateau Neuf de Pape in his kitchen.
Right, Richard,
Richard's just knocking his daughter diet. Richard Cracknell.
See, I'll pop off to go and have a little reliever myself, and you get another guest on.
That's what you do. That's just how good you are.
I didn't realise we've got staff now for you, Rich. You're getting this. Jesus Christ.
See what chaos ensues when I end up in London. But see, when I'm back in Lanzarote, it's all very calm and professional. I come here and it's chaos.
Right, let's do it. Forest to come on Sunday. Sam, we're going to start with you. This is going to be the first time that Spurs face Forest in over 16 years. God, it's been that long.
Mad.
Mad, isn't that crazy? Forest were a proper Premier League club. They really were. Yeah. Last actual game was an FA Cup match between the two at the City Ground. This is, I'm not referring to Spurs playing Forest generally, but Spurs running out 3-0 winners on the day. Robbie Keane goal, 2 assists from Michael Brown. 2005. We're going back.
Noah Pamaros played as well.
Well, listen, we know we're guaranteed now to be playing them at least twice before Boxing Day, because Spurs have also drawn Forest in the Carabao Cup as well. So Spurs going up to the City Ground twice before the end of the year, once in the Carabao Cup, and of course this Sunday in the Premier League. Sam, listen, Forest themselves, for them, listen, they've not had they've been fresh off promotion, of course, from the Championship. They've performed well early on. Of course, unfortunately, opening day defeat to Newcastle, which is now proving a really tough place for anywhere to go, to be honest with you. But they got up running with a 1-0 win over West Ham. What have you made of their start to the season, Sammy?
Sorry, mate. I'm laughing with Crackers. Luckily,
His comments.
Luckily, it's the comments. It's the comments. I mean, Forest. Well, they were part of Premier League football as I was growing up. They're a big club. As they've come up now, they've not got. We're now in the toughest league in the world, aren't we? Every single game is competitive. You know, we said the same thing about Leeds. Look at Leeds, mate. Every team is a giant killer. But one thing I'll say about Nottingham Forest is this: obviously I used to work in the Football League and the Premier League, as you know, Ricky. And if you've ever been to a Nottingham Forest game, the support has never changed, and there's something very, very special about that City ground. I'll tell you, there's some magic that goes on there from the fans, and I mean that in respect to all Nottingham Forest fans. It's amazing to go and watch football there. They've got all that history, and they've carried it with them. So they're not to be underestimated. Asking me honestly, I'm looking at it as a green tick on the the progression through the Premier League without a doubt, and a walloping at that. I think that if we Son is going to come back firing, and I hate saying this because I've just noticed that before some geezer was giving me the needle on the comments as well about my Champions League, and just to put that into clarification, I don't understand it. I say that we're going to wallop Chelsea 3-0, and I get grief for that, and for being positive, and then I say that I want to see the big games. I'm getting grief for that.
You'll never win. You'll never win, Sam. You'll never win. You'll never win.
I don't. There's no needle. I'm trying to represent Spurs fans. I'm positive all the time. I want the biggest games for him. If you're so I'm going off the beaten track here, Ricky. But if you're out with your mates and they say, do you want to go to the boozer because it's Man United versus Cambridge United, or do you want to go to this party? I'm going to the party. Do you know if they tell me do you want to go and watch Tottenham versus Bayern Munich? Then I'm there. Do you know? That's all I was saying. I just wanted to see big games. But
Sammy,
I'm being positive. But anyway, going back to Nottingham Forest, it's a game that, again, I'll always say the same thing. I don't want to be like a broken record on it. When we have games against teams that we think we should beat, they make me edgy. Because I like the big ones. I like the big games. So Forest, they're still going to put up a fight. Luckily, we've taken the best player. He is Jed Spence is a standout performer. Just wait and see what he brings to the Premier League. Mark my words. I put it on Twitter months ago, and I'll say it now publicly. He is going to be breakthrough amazing, a fan's favourite. Wait till you see him start playing down that wing. He's going to absolutely rip the Premier League to pieces. I promise you. And that is, I don't say it lightly. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I will come on to Spence in a second because interesting to get your guys' thoughts as to whether he'll even be part of the squad for the weekend. But let's come around to you. I mean, Steve Cooper's side, obviously, of that opening day defeat to Newcastle, followed that up with a 1-0 win over West Ham. Then they got themselves a 1-1 draw at Everton last weekend, and they'll probably consider themselves very unlucky to not have picked up maximum points up at Goodison Park. And I know we joked about this off air, me and you last night over a call. They've signed 18 players during this transfer window so far. And I must just say again, as we're recording this live, by the time you listen back to this on your morning commute or wherever you listen to the show or you watch the show, that figure may have changed. 18 as we're recording, and that includes Jesse Lingard, Neco Williams, Taiwo Anoyi, Emmanuel Dennis, Aurel Mangala, and former Spurs defender Serge Aurier is expected to also be an imminent arrival as well, man. I'm sure that won't surprise you.
You just land on the head there.
Oh, hang on, and let me plump up a pillar and a cushion whilst you talk about Serge Aurier, because we all know what Ant's like for a former player coming to play against Spurs. Ant is Dr. Doom. Go on, Ant. I'm
just going to leave it there, Rich. You didn't have to say much. Ex-Spurs player. Maybe will start against us. Here we go. They know. The DJ knows, yeah.
He's an absolute liability, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? And if everybody knows what he's like.
It don't matter about liability, brother. He will turn up against us. He will whip a ball.
I love it. Yes, now he's back. That's the man I wanted to see. I didn't know what. Yeah, here he is, my man.
No, I just think he's going to turn up and I'll just yeah.
Well, listen, let's hope for all of our sakes, and the figure of doom that he doesn't get registered in time for the game against Spurs.
Exactly.
Again, it's crazy we're even saying that. I mean, Forest have got 18 points.
And Rick, you know, on Sunday, if Serge Aurier plays, he'll be Pele, Ronaldo, Cacanaldo, won't he? He's gonna tear it up. He's gonna be doing things. He's gonna be doing bits like you've never seen before, and you're gonna be like, "What? Like you? I never saw that. You never done that at Spurs." He's gonna absolutely tear it to bits, isn't he?
Well, listen, the comments are already lots of them agreeing with Ant. We might be expecting something a bit worrying.
Jokes aside, I think we're capable of beating them. I think we've got the better first 11. I think again, as I said to you tonight, we need to go there, no fear. I know they're newly promoted, so they're bang up for it, and I think we'll do them.
It's cooked.
I'm with this guy. I'm with this guy. Super Tottenham. Aurier will give a penalty away on his debut. That's more than I tell you what. That's the.
That's a great shout.
Yeah.
It looks like Richard's placing his order there in the background. We don't want to put Rich off as well. Right, Rich, come on. Rich.
I forgot to put you on mute. It's chaos here tonight, Rick, innit? I'm normally so professional, and we're having a little chit chat.
Rich is placing his order, and we're just watching him do it. It's fantastic. This show, I tell you. Who says this show isn't? People complain it's not raw. How much raw do you want of that? We've got an order in the background.
We've got overeats as well.
we got a bit of stir fry on the go here, ready for when we go off air.
Stay with us for ITV2 Ready Steady Cook coming after the break on Channel 4 Catch Up.
Green peppers or red tomatoes? I'll be voting in a minute.
I'll let you decide that. Rich, let's come over to you.
Alpesh knows. Dr. Tottenham at the ready. Alpesh,
God. Rich, overall, in terms of Forest, what have you made of them so far since coming up? I mean, that's they've had a mixed bag so far. They've had a win, a draw, a loss. What have you made so far of them return to the Premier League?
Yeah, they are a bit of a mixed bag, and they're a newly promoted side. So, the towels are going to be up still because they yearn to get back into the Premier League so much down the years. But facts are, West Ham should have beaten them, and West Ham are bobbins. They are rubbish. So, listen, go there on Sunday. And if we play to the best of our ability, we beat them. It's as simple as that. It really is. So we just have to go there and just play like the best we can, what we are capable of. That's all we've got to do is just go there and we win the game. It's as simple as that. Go and be professional. Go and treat them like you was going away to Arsenal. A bit like the Champions League. They're like a Champions League game. Yeah. You've just got to go and give it your all. Be professional, be switched on, because if you're not, then you'll get beat. But if we play to the best we can, we win it. It's as simple as that. I know there's you got to be like this and respectful, and, the managers will tell you different things in press conferences. But listen, if we turn it on and do what we can do, they won't live with us.
Do you think they'll play him, Ricky, Jed Spence or Crackers or Antony?
Well,
do you think they'll put him on against them?
I think it's highly unlikely that he'll play, given that he's not even made the last two squads. It'll be. I think again, there's an element. I know a lot of people are panicking as to the lack of game time so far, but again, I will say this: that Spence being on the bench does mean Spurs are going to end up having 4 to 5 right wing backs. And I say for Conti, he wants a balanced bench. He wants a bench that he can look at and think, I've got Basuma on there. He's got Richarlison on there, who may very well start, bearing in mind the impact he's made from the bench. And again, with Son, I'm very loath to criticise Son, because every time I criticise Son on this show, he goes and bangs a hat-trick in the next game.
He's going to start. He is going to start this weekend, honestly. He's going to start. And once he starts, he won't stop. And do you know what? I've got to say, Ricky, I'm so disappointed to see some of the comments on Twitter and the social media for Sonny. It's just last stir fry on Spurs.
See that, Rich? Kalen, their last stir fry.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. So you've got to stop bringing these comments up, because when they're listening to the podcast, they won't have a hell what we're going on about with this video. But I think the grief that Sonny's been getting, has been way too harsh on him, especially for the fact that not only is he probably the most likable guy in football and gives everything, and he has had a couple of stinkers, to be fair. I think he's gonna come out firing at Forest. In fact, I'm probably gonna back that, if I'm being honest.
Well, we'll most certainly be back in Son. I mean, in terms of Forest, very quickly before we do predictions, maybe one of the names to watch out for, of course, is Morgan Gibbs-White, signed for a record club fee of 40 million. Forest-wise, like I say, Brennan Johnson, Taiwo Inouye, two of their main key players in attack. Yeah, very good players for them. That midfielder, Jack Colback, Ryan Yates. You wonder, like I say, of course, Neco Williams, Steve Cook in the back line. With 18 signings, potentially 19 by the time this podcast goes live, and whenever you're listening to it around the world, there may be, let's say, so many different options for Forest. That's what I mean. Trying to prepare this from a scouting perspective, it's just so hard because they've had such an influx of players, both in and out. It's really hard in order to try and gauge exactly what kind of Forest team we are going to face at the weekend. From a Spurs perspective, there are reports that, Christian Romero has offered his fitness and availability to Antonio Conte. Whether Conte takes that, again, is maybe another question because, again, I'm sure we've got West Ham to come on Wednesday evening. So 2 games in very quick succession. I'm sure Spurs will want to try and ensure they'll be able to balance out the team right for both those games. So, again, we'll see with Romero if he does play. Oliver Skipp, unlikely to be part of the 11 or unlikely to be part of the squad again as he is still recovering, but we'll get an update from Antonio Conte in his press conference later on this week. Richarlison, again, has performed quite well. So, again, it'll be interesting to see if he does get his first start for Tottenham in the Premier League. But conscious of time, we're going to head to predictions. So, and I know you hate them, so we'll start with you first. And what are you going to go for? City ground?
Tottenham 3-1.
3-1. Confident 3-1 from Ant. There you go. One nice confidence way to start the season for Ant on Last Word on Spurs. Let's go to Sammy. Sammy, over to you, mate. What are we going for prediction-wise for Forest? He's terrified so much he doesn't even want to say it.
Listen, I'm going 3-1. That's exactly what I was going for, and I'll go so far as to say I think Son's definitely going to score. He's going to break his duck, and I think there'll be Richarlison's goal in there as well.
I hope so.
Okay,
I reckon that's my take on it, mate. I don't care who the third one comes from, but it's 3-1. And you know what? And maybe in true Tottenham style, we might concede the first because statistically, the second half has been. It's still been like this since Conte came to the club because we were saying, what the hell is Conte saying to the players at half time, weren't we? Originally, when he first started, our second half performances are just that they have got more sprite than the start of the game.
Yeah, I think what's all key in this game, what we want to see, Rich, coming over to, we want to see Spurs start fast. Again, what we saw, arguably, I know we went behind against Southampton, but I think Southampton has been our most complete performance of the season so far. Again, with Chelsea, with regards to Wolves, you can argue that, we haven't seen the best of Tottenham yet. Some people like the fact that we haven't seen the best of us because, again, it shows there's a lot more to come. What's your thoughts, Rich? Prediction ahead of the weekend, City ground on Sunday?
1-0 Spurs. Yeah, there you go. 1-0 Spurs. I'm going to take my friend's advice.
Is that from the chef? From the chef?
Stir fry at the moment. 1-0 Spurs. We will win this. 1-0. There you go.
A double prediction there from the English wholesale.
But listen, like with Sammy said about Sonny, if he don't he's had a couple of poor games, and we've got no room for passengers. Whoever they are, Rick, we've got no room for passengers. If Sonny is off his game again on Sunday, off Richarlison on.
Yep. Because
it's not Sonny, it's not Kane, it's not any individual, it's Tottenham. So listen, you've got to be ruthless, you've got to be heartless, and Sonny's been and still is an incredible player. But if he's going through a bit of a patch at the moment, off you go, Richarlison on.
What's he doing to that steak behind? Is he battering it?
Eat the cookie to me, son. You just talk.
Don't kill him. He's got about 17 Last Word on Spurs shows coming up. Don't kill him.
I'll do the pods. He does the cooking.
Well, hopefully we'll see you, Richard, in a couple of weeks' time, but it isn't deadly. Jesus Christ. Right. Been an absolute pleasure on Last Word on Spurs. Thank you guys for all the support tonight. 700, 800 of you watching us live. Antony Costa, love to have you back on, mate, for your first of many appearances this season. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so much.
Love being on the show, boys. So it's good to be back for the 22-23 season. So I'm looking forward to it. Hope there's more games to come, and hopefully I don't get demoted.
No, I'm sure you won't, mate. Not now. We're in the Champions League. We'll find a way, most certainly. We'll be going to these games as well. We have to find a way to record. Don't ask me how we're going to do it.
No,
We'll
you're
try
a
and find a
nightmare.
way.
You don't want to go to can't go to no games.
Honestly, we'll be there. We'll be there 100%.
Yeah.
All of us somehow. We will be. Sammy Powell, Sam, loves to have you on. Last Word on Spurs. You'll be back with us, of course, for a lot of these Champions League games. Sam, thank you so much as always. And again, many congratulations to us all here from Last Word on Spurs on the birth of the little one. We wish you everything, mate, including
mate.
lots of hopeful sleep nights, mate, coming your way. Not sleepless, I must add.
Yeah, thank you so much for that, and to everybody who on Twitter or social or anything. The comments there's been so much support for me. Me having a little boy, it's been completely life changing. I just cannot wait to take him to the Tottenham Stadium, mate, and see his eyes light up, because there's nothing else that in the world that football is the one thing that changes your world, isn't it? So I can't wait to introduce my little boy to that. So thanks for all your support, Ricky. You know how much I love the show. You know how much.
And likewise, mate, listen, lots of love for you in the comments here. We love having you. Despite, listen, the thing about this show, again, this is why we love Last One on Spurs. You will never be able to please everyone. We're all going to have different opinions. That's what makes us all Spurs fans. If we all thought the same, it would be bloody boring. It really
I love a bit of controversy, and, I get knocked from a positivity quite a lot of the time. I've had people knocking me, sending me direct messages, and I send them polite ones back saying, listen, what's wrong with a bit of love and belief? And you know what? 3 weeks later, when we're absolutely hammering it, I get a sorry message off them, and that's absolutely fine by me. Rick. At the end of the day, I love my club, and if I don't believe we can win, if you don't believe in anything, it ain't going to happen. But the bottom line is, it's about time it starts happening, and it is happening at Tottenham, everybody. It is happening at Tottenham. They're all looking at us. They're all talking about us, and it's our time to make it happen.
Totally agree. Just a hero there. Can we get 4 shows every week? You can, but it might mean that I'm homeless and, single. So we'll see how that goes in the next year or two. But Hirel, thank you so much for all the support as always for Last One on Spurs. Again, thank you so much for all the comments. Again, lots of love for everybody here. Adrian says next time, Sammy, turn the lights up. He wants to see that angel light behind you, I reckon. That's what he wants to see. And to Rich, we're asking why there's not a shit quiz, because Rich has got a personal cook in the background who's cooked him stir-frying steak and let him go and have the steak.
Let me introduce Bill, who I'm staying with, lifelong Tottenham fan and doing a bit of cooking. And so that's what you are going on in the background as well.
Man,
so you've had Master Chef and a bit of Last Word on Spurs. So, listen. If it's nothing, it's real, isn't it? So,
and I must say, Kaylin says unacceptable. Kaylin, we'll make it up for you when we get going properly. Don't worry. Champions League, we'll bring back the shit quizzes. But for the sake of Rich and his personal chef there in the background, Bill, listen, let's let the man off for one night, please. Lots of love in the comments for all you guys.
One thing, Rick, Friday week, a week tomorrow, Glenn Hoddle down in Camberley doing a Legends Night with a bit of dinner and everything. Echo 61. .co.uk. There's a few tickets still available. Come along. You'll have a fantastic night out. So, and get to meet the great Glenn Hoddle. So I'll just throw that in now because it was sold out and a few tickets have come back available. So or come and see my at Mr. Cracknell, and I'll put the details up. So got a good night out Friday week down in Camberley in Surrey.
Superb. Again, you can catch all of Rich's latest shows on our audio version. You've got a full rundown of all there from Rich on Last One on Spurs. And we're looking forward to seeing you back on tour, mate, very, very soon. We're all really looking forward to it. You excited about it? How you
mate, I'm excited, It's a bit of a double-edged sword, really, because we started
all rise.
I'll tell you what, it'll be a lot better. We're looking forward to the main version.
Bill,
sorry, Bill. I feel like I've been really sorry, really bad to Bill tonight. Bill, we love you. Please come back.
No, we start the tour as the World Cup starts, so it's a touch for me. So
good thing, right? Yeah,
it's great. It's great. So I'm going to miss no Spurs games, so I'm excited.
Well, mate, listen, I know lots of Blue fans out there be buying their tickets up for sure, 100%. Again, Ant, I'm sure you'll say check out the socials for Blue, right, for all the latest available tickets.
Yeah, mate, definitely. At Official Blue.
Fantastic. Sam, mate, listen, thank you so much again. Night belongs to Sammy, as always, mate. Listen, thank you so much for your time, Sam. Wishing you all the best for the little one. From Sammy, from Costa, from Cracks, from myself, guys. As Antony raised it there for our watching audience, please keep safe, keep well. We're back with you on Sunday evening for instant reaction to Nottingham Forest. There's 2 in the background. There's 3. We've got a point there. Please keep safe as always and come on, you Spurs. Thank you so much.